I typically pride myself on making very considered and deliberate purchases. In some cases, I've even waited like up to 4 years to buy a bag, for example, or a pair of boots. However, every now and then, I end up falling for a piece and make an impulsive purchase. I think within the slow fashion world, or, you know, in sustainable fashion, we can feel guilty about purchases that we make on a whim, and maybe it does contribute sometimes to a wasteful purchase that you don't end up wearing, but I also think that's very human. We make mistakes. Our style is constantly changing, who we are and our environments are constantly changing, so is our body. So sometimes we might make a purchase that is more impulsive and less intentional. So today I wanted to share some of the impulse purchases that I've made, or unexpected purchases or acquisitions to my closet that I've made, which have actually turned out to be really great, and some of the longest standing and most worn items in my closet. I just hope that maybe this gives you some insight in some of the pieces that might be sitting in your closet and ways to reframe them in a way that might allow you to appreciate them more or get more use out of them. If you're new, hello, welcome, or even if you've been here for a while. My name is Alyssa. I talk about slow fashion and choosing creativity instead of consumption. Before we jump in, if slow fashion and shopping your closet while discovering your sense of style sounds like your jam, I've got tickets to a live virtual Shop Your Closet workshop, which is a really fun 2 hours. We do it on the weekend, so you can really take your time. You're not on camera, but we have 2 guests whose closets we shop. So we talk about elements of style and how to use things like proportion and texture and silhouette to restyle the clothes you already have. And this is really good because it is on other people's bodies and in other people's closets. So you get to see something other than my own stuff. I will leave all the details about tickets and prices and just more details if you like in the description box below, but you can also just shoot me a note over on IG or here in the comments. I will always try and get to them. So let's jump on into these impulse purchases. If you've been around here for a while, or even not for a while, you've probably noticed that neutrals are my go-to and that I very, very rarely wear color. But I saw this at a vintage store, a local vintage store where I knew the vendor. I knew she wouldn't steer me wrong if I tried something on a little bit out of my comfort zone. This is a men's vintage Bill Blass shirt. It is a beautiful, super, super light cotton. Everything else except for the color is within my comfort zone here. It's a classic button-up shirt. The vibe is there. It can be styled in an undone way, which is another one of my like key guiding posts in terms of how I like to dress myself. The only thing that was totally wild for me was this color. And typically I don't like red. I don't like myself in red either. But this shirt, trying it on and lighting up in the change room, this shirt is what made me realize that I can wear red in a cooler tone. And this shirt also validated the fact that I am like a more neutral kind of cool tone. I'm definitely not one to follow strict rules and guidelines, but I do enjoy knowing what I feel better in and using that to validate or sort of influence different purchase decisions. But I definitely don't only live inside that box, if this makes sense. So this shirt, even though it was an impulse purchase, has been absolutely invaluable to me. It's at least 5 years old and I continue to wear it. Okay, I get so many questions about these trousers. These are a wide leg with a elastic waist at the back, but a flat front. These are by a brand called Beatrice B. It is an Italian brand. However, I found them at a local boutique in Portugal. This is probably one of the most valuable items in my closet simply because I travel often, and these are a perfect travel pant that look elevated and yet they feel like pajamas because they are so flowy. They've got the elastic waist. What I learned from this impulse purchase is that yes, it's good to have a preference for the fabric content of your clothes, but for me, the hand feel of a garment is a huge guiding factor. These are 100% polyester. They wash well, they don't wrinkle, they don't lose their shape. It's actually quite a nice polyester. It's light and yet it has a really beautiful drape. Like all things, even with synthetic fibers, there is a quality spectrum there as well. And these were really beautifully made. made. The other lesson that I learned from these trousers is that if you are looking at a synthetic fabric, which might not be your first choice, look at the combination of fabric and fit, because this is a nice flowy wide leg pant. I haven't sweat too much in these. I never overheat because I do get some really good airflow. They're a beautiful wide leg, right? So I have a lot of breathing room in these. So this is why I always encourage clients, and on the channel, this is why I always encourage a more holistic view. And I think when we narrow our mindset or use black and white thinking, or when we try to like keep our style within a box, then I think we can really miss out on functional pieces that will actually extend the life of the other clothes in our closet and allow us to get more use and versatility out of our entire wardrobe. So there's still a fairly new impulse purchase, but the cost per wear is already way low. And just the peace of mind when you travel, knowing that you have such a great versatile item, I mean, I don't know, kind of invaluable. This beautiful silk dress is another example of going out on a limb when it comes to color and impulse purchases. Technically, this is like a warmer tone, but I'm only gonna wear this dress in the summer. So I'm tan. It is 100% silk. It's actually a vintage silk that has been reworked into this dress. So I found this at a beautiful vintage boutique in Lecce, which has already been featured on this channel. I will link it up here for you. I bought this because my travel capsule didn't really include a super light flowy dress. It was like 40 degrees. I was in Italy in August. It was very warm, and I really needed a passe-partout dress that felt like I was wearing nothing. And I was filming a video in Biba to feature her boutique. And of course, I mean, you're in a boutique and you're trying things on, and I saw this. And even though I don't really look amazing in these warmer, more heavily saturated yellows, I love yellow. It's my favorite color. So I gravitated towards this. I'm so happy that I made this purchase. It's only 2 years old in my closet, which is fairly young for the amount of time that I typically keep my clothes. But again, I wear it so often. Every time. This is a summer travel staple for me now. I feel so good knowing that it's in my suitcase packed. I'm starting to realize that color might be my weakness when it comes to impulse purchases, because I also have these beautiful baby blue Repetto flats. They're a lovely little pointed toe. Again, I found these in Lecce, so they're only 2 years old. I saw them in the window. Again, this was almost like a functionality purchase. I knew that we were like running around Europe. I loved being in a flat. I love a pointed toe, especially because I like the sharpness of it. I knew that baby blue was a color that I was repeating a lot in my closet, so I knew that they would go with a lot of items, but I was a little bit hesitant, like a baby blue shoe. Like, you don't really think that it's gonna be so versatile. All of these colorful impulse purchases have shown me that color can actually be very versatile. It can become a neutral, if you will. So those baby blue shoes really opened up and solidified the fact that baby blue is one of my colors that I love to wear all year round. They're just so functional. They make wearing flats fun. So that was a really, really good impulse purchase. This last one, oh my gosh. I mean, I was styling a musician for her album cover, and I pulled this from a local secondhand consignment store, and we used this a lot in the shoot, and I just loved this on the musician so much. When I did the return, I told the boutique owner that I wanted to buy this one. I was keeping this item. I don't even know if I tried it on, okay? And again, fabric content. This sweater, it's entirely synthetic. So this sweater is almost 10 years old. Not only is it synthetic, but it's a fast fashion piece. So this was definitely like a gut reaction. Perhaps something that we can practice next time you are thinking of an impulse buy, or you find yourself wanting to buy something on impulse, give yourself pause. A couple of these purchases I did think about for 24 hours before I purchased. This dress, also because it was expensive. So I wanted to really wait and think about it. These trousers, I waited 24 hours before purchasing, again, because I found them to be a little bit expensive, particularly because they were polyester. So that, you know, I didn't love that, but they turned out to be worth it. And these shoes, I waited 24 hours. Even though they were kind of impulse, they were also not. I gave myself that period of pause. And I think we can do that with these purchases. If we're feeling sort of like a gut reaction to an item, I think there's a reason why, and maybe we should explore it. I would maybe recommend reframing impulse purchases, or the idea that you want to impulsively buy something. Can you pause and take a minute and figure out why it is that you're attracted to this piece? Why is it that you want it? Are you feeling something a little deeper? Is it loneliness? Is it resentment, frustration, anger, or is it just joy and you know, maybe you're celebrating something? Like I said, all of these things are very human. It's very easy to justify a purchase through that. However, maybe let's try and flip it also and see, do I have like a visceral love for this item when I put it on? You know, both are okay. It's the awareness that is really important. So if you've got impulse purchases in your closet, whether you're wearing them or not, I would say it's a good little exercise or challenge to have a look at them, figure out what it was that attracted them to you in the first place, and maybe you can find ways to rewear them. So that is what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it or if you learned something new. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget I have tickets to that live Shop Your Closet event. I will leave all of the details in the description box below for you. Thank you as always for watching. It is such a pleasure. I'm so grateful for you. I will see you in the next slow fashion video. Ciao!